everyone. Today I'm going to show you how you can treat your picture and remove some spots on your face, just like the normal makeup we do at home. But for the men, we can treat some pictures using our digital softwares like the Photoshop or any other photo editing softwares. Just be patient with me and be attentive to what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to pick a picture to use for our training today, and I'm going to use a mobile picture and try to make it look so dynamic, just like what we use DSLR camera to snap. You are going to fine-tune the picture. So today I'm going straight to my Photoshop. I will create a new document. I'm using 1080 by 1080, the social media or Instagram posts, and maybe WhatsApp status and other stuff. So my resolution will be 300. I am using pixel per inch, then RGB color. RGB color is mainly used for our online post, online documents, but when it comes to printing, you can use the CMYK color. For my background, I will leave it transparent. Remember the size again is 1080 by 1080 pixel, which is a box size you created. So I'm going to drag a picture in the Photoshop design environment, and this is the picture I'm going to edit. I will use my Ctrl Plus to zoom so that we can see the tiny spots on the face. We can still make up his face to make it look more feminine. But for today, I'm going to work on the quality of the picture. First of all, I need to select this area. Then delete the other area. To get that process done, I am going to click on the layers at the bottom right of the Photoshop design environment. So I'm going to click the layers. I cannot delete any section even though I apply the inverse option. I cannot delete it because it's not a rasterized layer. So I need to right click and rasterize the layer. Then I apply the delete command. The next step is to click on my polygon lasso tool to double click on the transparent area. I click my pick tool and I move it up. So I can press my shift or this node and scale it. Or you can even scale it like that. It depends on the type of Photoshop you have. To treat this face, I am going to use my filter, which is in my camera raw filter, to pop out the quality. I will increase my temperature a little, reduce my tint, then increase my clarity to bring out the shadow. Then my vibrance. Pop out the contrast ratio. So for now, let's leave it like this. So before I will continue, I'm going to duplicate by pressing Ctrl J on my keyboard. Ctrl J again. So I take off the original and I work with the rest too. This is my base layer. This is my top layer. What I'm going to do now, I am going to click on this top layer to smoothen the face and come to my filter. I'll use my Gaussian blur and increase it a little and click OK. So the next step, I'm going to mask the Gaussian blur layer by adding a layer mask. I will click it, then press Ctrl I to inverse. You will see that it reserves the blur effect to a specific area. I'm going to use my brush to apply that effect. I'll pick my brush and select a soft round brush. Then I will increase the size a little bit. Press Ctrl plus to zoom the face. And touch an area. Now you can see the effects. You can use your brackets to reduce your brush size, or you can come here to reduce the size. Press your space key and drag it up. So you can have a smooth face here, but we should make it more natural by reducing the opacity of this layer. So just reduce the opacity so that at least it will still reserve some natural details. So that is my way of smoothing the skin. So then I can still apply little touches by smoothing around the eyelid. So I press the Ctrl plus to zoom. I come here and reduce the brush size. The opacity of the brush can be reduced. So I apply some low opacity of the brush effect here. And you can see the next step is to trim the outer background of this picture. Remember the layer mask layer I use for the smoothing. I'm also going to trim the layer that carries the background. I will use my polygon lasso tool and start from this point. Note, Advisably, before you start trimming your object or subject on the Photoshop design, first click on your polygon lasso tool and increase the feather pixel to 1. Don't increase it more than 1 because that is how it will smooth the edge. If you leave it at 0, the edge you trimmed will be sharp. You start from here and make sure you do it neat. One thing about graphic design and Photoshop of picture is patience. If you are not patient, you cannot do it. I'm going to press plus to zoom in on this edge so that it can be visible. Now you can see some area here whereby you need to use your special dimension to filter the hair from the background. So I'm going to roll back a bit from this ear. I take the space like this just because of the hair, and there's a trick using my photo touching the processes. When you come here, having a mixtures of color, you can take it to the edge. If you try to effect that, this section with different color will not give you a good result. So after getting your picture, you just click on the mask layer and add a layer mask. You see those yellows surrounding them. We are going to work on it. Now I right click here. Before I do it, let me first add the black background to differentiate this picture and those yellow edge I preserved. I swap from my foreground to my background black. I draw a black rectangle and drag it down. I drag it down, then click here. Right click. I am going to select a mask. I will use this tool, which is the quick selection tool, to show you the surrounding. But I will use this refine edge brush to take off the surrounding from the hair, so I use my bracket to expand. I reduce a bit, I can zoom. It will neatly take away the color from the hair, filter it from the hair. Take note of this, because once you are trying to fix some female picture, this process is seriously essential. You neatly filter it and you click on OK before you click OK. you should smooth the edge a bit. That is global refinement by smoothing the edge. Then you retake the edge inside -5%, then you click OK. So at least we did some light touches on the hair, though we still have some spots here. I'll go back to select the mask. Okay, it's still there, just some stain. These are the areas that have multiple colors, so that is why that place is still visible. I'll remove this black background. For me, I will take my polygon lasso tool to take out those things. I will click the main picture, not the mask, and delete, at least to have some smooth edge. Then a place here also by the cheek. And click here. I'm going to bring in the background. I have the two pictures here. This is my original. I will drag it below the background layer. But before I bring it together, I am going to duplicate the mask because I will still use it for other purpose. Maybe in the part 2 of this lesson. Ctrl+J to duplicate, drag it down, take it off, just preserve it, and then I right click and I will convert it to smart object. I will make them a single object. I can bring everything together, both the mask and the picture as one object. You can go further by rasterizing that layer so it becomes a single layer, both the mask and everything. So I will still apply some filter by going to my camera raw filter, increase the clarity. I reduce the shadow a bit. If you are working with some picture, you can increase the shadow, but for this, I will reduce the shadow. The black pop out, the black. Texture, increase the texture. Vibrance, increase the vibrancy. Then saturation, you can see the saturation effect on it. So but let me just add a little saturation. Click OK. So for today, I'm going to stop here so that my next video will be on the part 2, whereby I will make use of the other mask I have preserved in adding some more quality to this picture.